The evening wind cut through the town like a silent blade, carrying with it the scent of cold metal and distant chimney smoke. Daniel tugged his jacket closer as he stepped out of the corner store, the automatic doors hissing shut behind him. His hands were stiff from the chill, but he held tight to the bags of groceries, discounted cans, day-old bread, and a small box of tea Maya loved. It wasn't much, but it was enough for a few warm meals. The parking lot was nearly empty, lit only by flickering lampposts. Snow drifted in lazy spirals across the asphalt. Daniel took a step toward his truck, when he heard hesitant footsteps behind him. "Sir, excuse me," he turned. A thin boy, maybe 9 or 10, stood there. His jacket was too big, sleeves hanging past his hands, and his shoes were worn enough that snow leaked through the seams. His cheeks were flushed from the cold, but his eyes, large, frightened, and painfully sincere, were fixed on Daniel's grocery bags. "Please don't take our food," the boy whispered. His breath quivered in the air, as fragile as his voice. "My mom is sick." Daniel's brow furrowed. "Your food? What do you mean?" The boy pointed with a trembling hand toward a small cart by the store's entrance. Daniel had barely noticed it, a metal rack with a cardboard sign, "Donations for families in need." A few bags sat there, filled with basic staples from customers who could spare a little. The boy wasn't trying to steal from Daniel, he thought Daniel was taking from the donation rack. "That's for us," the boy said, swallowing hard. "I came early to make sure no one took it. My mom, she can't come herself anymore." Daniel felt something in him crack open. The exhaustion of his life, the years of scraping by, suddenly collided with the raw desperation in the child's voice. He put his grocery bags down slowly. "Hey," Daniel said gently. "Talk to me. What's going on?" Daniel lowered himself to one knee so his eyes were level with the boy's. The snowflakes landing on Leo's lashes melted into tiny droplets, but he didn't blink them away. He looked exhausted, far more than any child should ever have to be. "What's your name?" Daniel asked softly. "Leo. And your mom?" "Emma." Leo clutched the edge of his jacket. "She hasn't gotten out of bed since yesterday. I told her I'd go get the food myself. She said she'd be okay, but she's not." His voice cracked on the last word. He quickly looked down, wiping his nose with the too long sleeve as if ashamed of showing weakness. Daniel's heart clenched. He recognized this fear, the same tightness he'd once felt watching Maya burn up with fever, praying he wouldn't lose the only family he had left. "Is anyone helping you?" Daniel asked. Leo shook his head. "Mom used to work at the hotel, but when she got sick, they said they couldn't keep her. Our heater broke last week. I tried to fix it, but I don't know how." Daniel closed his eyes briefly. A broken heater, a sick mother, a kid guarding a donation rack like a soldier. "Show me," Daniel said gently. "Take me to your mom." Leo hesitated. "Mom said not to bother people. She doesn't want to be a burden." Daniel exhaled sharply. "She isn't, and you aren't." The boy searched his face for a long moment, as if trying to decide whether adults could still be trusted. Finally, he nodded. They walked together through the frost-bitten streets, Leo hugging himself against the cold. When they reached a run-down apartment building, Daniel saw cracked windows covered with blankets, a stair rail wrapped in duct tape, and a door with peeling paint. Leo unlocked it, pushing it open with effort. Inside, the air was cold enough to sting Daniel's skin. The lights were dim, a single lamp glowing weakly. On a worn-out couch lay Emma, pale and trembling, coughing into a threadbare blanket. Leo whispered, "Mom, I brought someone." Daniel stepped inside, and immediately understood the truth. She wasn't just sick. She was starving, exhausted, and desperately alone. Daniel didn't even remove his coat before moving toward the tiny kitchen. The counters were bare. No fruit, no canned food, not even crumbs. A single cup sat in the sink, stained from old tea. It hit him then. They hadn't eaten properly in days. Behind him, Emma struggled to sit up, bracing herself with a trembling arm. "Sir," her voice was barely a whisper. "You didn't have to come. I'm fine. Please don't trouble yourself." Daniel turned. "You're not fine," he said gently but firmly. "And he shouldn't be out in the cold begging for help." Emma closed her eyes, shame washing over her features. "I just didn't want Leo to worry. He already is, Daniel said softly. Leo stood beside the couch, small hands gripping the blanket draped over his mother. He wanted to be brave. Daniel could see it, but fear clung to him like a shadow. Daniel's mind raced. He had bills piling up, long shifts that drained him, a daughter at home waiting for dinner. But none of that mattered in this moment. Compassion wasn't something you rationed out in small doses. Not when a child looked at you like you were the last person left who might help. He unpacked his grocery bag, placing cans and bread on the counter. "You need to eat," he said, heating soup on the stove. "And tomorrow, I'm taking you to the clinic." Emma shook her head weakly. "I can't afford." "Don't worry about that," he interrupted. "We'll figure it out." Leo's head snapped up. "We?" Daniel looked at him and managed a small smile. "Yeah, we. That's what people do. They help each other." Leo blinked hard, as if holding back tears he'd gotten used to hiding. Within minutes, the small apartment filled with the warm scent of soup. Daniel helped Emma sip slowly, supporting her back with his hand. Her shoulders shook with a quiet sob she tried to hide. "Thank you," she whispered. "No one has helped us in a long time." Daniel swallowed thickly. "Well, someone helped me once. Guess I'm just returning the favor." He turned to Leo. "Pack a warm jacket. You're coming home with me and Maya for dinner." Leo froze. "Really? Really?" And for the first time that night, Leo smiled, a small, fragile spark of hope in the dark. Daniel's home wasn't fancy, just a small rental with creaky floors and a heater that hummed non-stop, but compared to Leo's ice-cold apartment, it felt like walking into summer. As soon as the door opened, Maya rushed forward, her braids bouncing. "Dad, you're late." She paused when she saw Leo hiding behind him. "Oh, who's that?" Daniel placed a gentle hand on Leo's shoulder. "This is Leo. He's having dinner with us tonight. Be nice." Maya grinned immediately. "Hi, do you like cards, or drawing, or hot chocolate? Wait, do you want socks? Yours look cold." Leo blinked, taken aback by the sudden warmth. Hot chocolate sounds nice." Daniel watched the interaction with a tightness in his chest. Not sadness, but something tender and painful all at once. Kids had a way of accepting each other instantly, without the hesitation adults carried. During dinner, Leo ate slowly at first, like someone afraid he might finish too quickly and be left with nothing again. But as the meal went on, warm pasta, fresh bread, Maya's laughter filling the room, his shoulders loosened. He even cracked a small joke, surprising himself. Afterward, the kids played cards on the living room rug while Daniel washed dishes. Every few minutes he glanced back, the sight grounding him. Maya teaching Leo rules, Leo smiling shyly, both of them forgetting the weight of the world. For a little while, the next morning, Daniel kept his promise. He drove Emma to the clinic, sitting with Leo in the waiting room as doctors assessed her. The relief on the physician's face told Daniel everything. She'd come just in time. Over the next weeks, Daniel helped arrange local support, a space heater, food deliveries, medication assistance. He visited often, fixing things around their apartment. Maya and Leo became inseparable, bundled in coats, running through the snow like siblings who had always existed in each other's worlds. One late afternoon, as Daniel prepared to leave after dropping off groceries, Leo tugged at his sleeve. "Daniel." "Yeah, buddy, why did you help us?" Daniel ruffled his hair. "Because no one should feel alone. Not you, not your mom." Leo nodded slowly. Then he wrapped his small arms around Daniel's waist in a sudden, tight hug. "Thank you," he whispered. Daniel closed his eyes, swallowing the emotion in his throat. Sometimes families aren't chosen by blood. Sometimes they're created by moments, small decisions, and simple acts of kindness. And in that winter town, under the quiet falling snow, a new family had begun.